Welcome back, viewers. Let's listen to the press, and we're reaching you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. We've now been joined by our guest, Engr Toba Owojaiye, who's a public affairs analyst, to help us analyze on most of the top stories that made it to the front page. And don't forget that this is also the segment where our phone lines are now open for you to call in and join the conversation as it progresses. You're welcome to the studio, Engr Toba. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you very much. I'm happy to be here.
Honestly.
Always happy to be here.
It's always a pleasure. Thank you. All right, Engr Toba. 2 days post-Independence Day celebration. Nigeria at 65. It's been a long journey coming. Whoever is 65 years old today know that they're not young anymore. They ought to have like a foresight. In fact, I feel like at 65, someone's probably retired.
Life is winding up.
Exactly. So it's time to just relax and enjoy every fruit that you've labored for. Would you say Nigeria is at that spot right now where we can then chill and say we've done a lot and we've achieved a lot, so it's time to rest?
Nigeria is a 65-year-old man trying to look for a job to sustain himself and his family and his grandkids. It's not a good situation. That's how bad I believe things are. However, there are positives that we can be grateful for. At this time, we should have moved far from our oil-based revenue to other forms of funds that could have come in for us from tourism, from businesses. We have the population. We should be feeding ourselves without stress. We are trying to get back railways now. When we had railways 45 years ago, Dangote has just come up with a refinery now. That refinery is now is the largest exporter of aviation fuel in Africa. A refinery that just started 2 years ago. Now imagine if that fund that Dangote used, 20 billion, was put into a functional refinery since. The last time we built a refinery of our own was 40 years ago. So we are a 65-year-old man that let himself go down the drain for 40 good years. So we know why we are where we are. We are not doing wonderfully well, but we are in slow recovery. I agree with the president that people think I'm just playing politics. I agree with him that we're in slow recovery. For the first time, we are seeing our interest rate coming down. We now have a trade surplus of 7.4 trillion naira. It's not fantastic, but our trade is not in deficit again. We are seeing some indications that our foreign reserve is the highest it has been since 2019.
At current $43 billion.
Yes. So we are headed, the macroeconomics is looking good. We are looking on the paper. Things that can be verified internationally is saying this country is in recovery. But the macroeconomics, which is what you get, mainly you get out of this studio and head to the road, that is the microeconomics, is still saying the same pain. So I understand when people are saying we have not made any progress because it has not affected price of food that much, it has not affected, so the thing that is killing people the most now is rent. Rent is
it's not even going down, it's increasing.
No, rent is tripling, which is also caused by what is happening on the macro scheme, but is adversely affecting us. So there's a lot that is going on well. In Lagos, for the first time, they're having these water races that you watch abroad. It's starting off today. This is something that could have happened here 20 years ago or 30 years ago. Why don't we have a Grand Prix? We need to have security. We need to have the excellence. We need to have the way to run these things in a system that can be banked upon. A person cannot come to Nigeria to attend this tournament and his handbag is stolen, or the person is kidnapped, or the person is scammed. These are the many indices that somebody coming for tourism looks at. These are the many indices somebody coming to invest looks at. Dangote knows why he put his refinery in Lagos. As though he's not from the state, he's saying that there's a stability that he can get from that. More tribes and more people have their businesses in Lagos than in any other part of the country, evenly shared. This is what we need to make out of every state in Nigeria. Every state in Nigeria needs to be a Lagos. And this is the direction we have to go. I'm not okay with the president saying they spent 330 billion on social investment, 25,000 to unknown people. He knew that he would get dragged on that.
Of course.
But they have done well with NEL Fund. Students have come online on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram to either praise it or to complain. Some said, I'm not getting enough, means you are getting. I didn't get for last month, means you got for the other month. So whereas that is something that is credible. The president needs to make sure immediately any social investment must be as credible as the NEL fund that is being run. This is what the president needs to do immediately.
You know, whilst I know that the president spoke a lot, you know, quite in-depthly, and also talked about our progress so far, unity and all of that, it may seem as though other political parties find it very different. Like PDP said, the president's speech is boring, uninspiring, and full of lies. What do you make of that statement? Merely political, or there might be some elements of truth in that?
You see, when you say that, you have not, when he said the foreign reserve has gotten to this amount, if it was not true, you would tell us exactly what it is. And these are things you can verify from the international level. They have not countered anything he has talked about on the international level. What they came to was the social investment scheme, which is what they targeted. They also picked indices that the president did not talk about. We look at other parts of the economy that is not functioning, which is what touches the masses. And you see, everybody is playing to the masses now. So if you are telling me about, let me use for want of another word, my riches in heavenly places. Hello, I'm not in heavenly places now.
I'm still right here.
I am stuck in Nigeria now, so you cannot tell me about my riches in glory. Yeah, so they are picking on that, saying, we know that you are working well on this level, but the votes are with the masses, so, and you have not done much on the masses end, so let's flog you on that end. So it's, the presidency should have expected that. There's nothing surprising to it. The opposition will oppose, the ruling party will rule. That's the sad part of politics.
You know, it's just so crazy, because most of the time when we talk about, one of our core is supposed to be unity in diversity. But every single day, we tend to find reasons why we're more separated than being aligned. After 65 years, what do you think even citizens could have done differently?
First of all, the citizens have said here, I've said every other place, the citizens are gullible, the citizens are gullible, the citizens are gullible. Once the electorate, the people who vote, the masses, cannot see beyond the game that the politicians are doing, then the politicians will keep playing these games. We are even a little better off now. 8-10 years ago, the politicians would go and sit on the road and be eating corn. Have we forgotten? They will walk on the road and be drinking sugarcane. They will go to where children are crying with flies on their nose and be helping them clean it. So at that time,
you can't even say 8-10 years ago. This also happened like in 2023.
That's what I'm saying. No, it was not that bad in 2023. 2023 was still a little bit.
We had someone who was opening the doors for people who could usher them in.
Yeah, you see them now. They are doing boreholes. They are going to sympathize with people who are not their friends on a normal day. They are visiting churches that they have not gone to for 12 years. See, this is all just political drama to get the people on your side. And if the people do not see beyond these dramas, it's like football. A player is doing leg over. He has not touched the ball, but swinging his leg over the ball. If you dive, the ball is still here. It goes the other way. The people need to be wiser. What are these people going to bring What is their pedigree? What are they going to bring differently from what Tinubu is doing? We said, let's remove Goodluck at all costs. So they found the person who can remove him at all costs, who had a strong northern following, generic northern following, who had tried 3 times. The Southwest backed him, Tinubu and co backed him, and he got in. So we are not in a race as it is to bring in the best people. We are just in a race right now to bring in the people that the people already believe in and have a side. Which is why I told somebody, where is all the noise about Senegal? A young president has come in, Sonko or what's his name? After a little while, it has all gone up. People believe that Captain Traore is wonderful. He's the best thing that has happened to Africa. Go to his country, they don't believe that. Is that he's been able to sell that narrative to the people so that there is no election. And he doesn't want any election to hold. As far as we are gullible, look at Zelensky in Ukraine. A comedian found a show, named the show If I Was President, and he started acting in comedy If I Was President, till the people now believe that, oh wow, if we make this man president, he will be a wonderful president. Now he has refused to even run elections, saying that there's a war. So once there's war, elections cannot hold. So the person you brought in as a comedian, now nothing is funny again. Now they can account for $40-something billion, but you can't talk about it because there's war. So what we need to fight is propaganda. We need to see beyond these politicians. Who is in our best interest? As a country, should our next president come from the north or the south? If you ask me personally, our next president for the next 4 years should still come from the south, because this is how Nigerian politics swing. It is in our best interest. We have less Boko Haram, we have less fight. It is not a must, it's not a constitutional matter, but it's the best swing. After that, we get a good northerner who continues for another 8 years, and let's do our best to get a very good one. They are good governors. Umba is a good one, Oti is a good one, you won't like it. Wike is a good one.
Why did you say you won't like it?
You know, some people may not like it. I'm talking about progress.
I know.
And things verifiable. You fix a road, we can drive it. You fix water, we can drink it. You fix solar lights, we can use it. I don't want people who vote in, and all we're talking about for 4 or 8 years is plastic. Nothing changes. Our rails are going on, our roads are going on. It is not as fast as we expect. It is not as sincere as we expect, but we are making progress.
Well, we're making progress. Now let's talk about, because we touched on politics in the process of making this progress, let's talk about this electoral reforms that INEC has been clamoring for. Now they are saying that, they are warning that democracy may suffer if urgent action is not taken before 2027. What do you make of the legal framework that they are agitating for?
I truly don't know what they want to change, but I assume that one of the first, you see, we try to fix defection, but defection, you see, Nigerian politicians are the smartest human beings I know on it. I am serious. They made laws that you cannot defect except there's crisis in your party. So they created crisis in party. Now, if the people who made those laws did not see that these people will look at those laws carefully and look at, okay, so the only ground upon which we can defect is fight. Okay, let's be fighting in PDP, let's be fighting in APC, let's be fighting in short, APC is the only party that doesn't have fight now. So this gives all of them smooth ground to defect. How did Lawan remain in the Senate? Just by, these people are the smartest people. Politicians just act dumb.
You know, it's just funny that our lawmakers are politicians themselves. If only they could be apolitical.
Can you imagine if we could get the lawmakers to sign a law that a senator can only serve for 2 terms? But which senator will push the bill, first of all?
That's what I'm saying, that I wish they were apolitical, like making these rules. without them having any sort of interest.
This is what we are saying. So once you have this drama, when people said Labour Party senators and House of Rep came in, I told you here 2 years ago, I just laughed. I said by the election, I don't think they will have 2 senators or 2 House of Rep. And it's playing out exactly how I said, because once you understand politics, we are defenders. All these legovers they are doing doesn't work for us. It works for newbies. We understand this whole game. They are all in for themselves, their survival and their interest. They will find a person who the masses has generally adopted as fantastic. They will go to the party that candidate is in. They will pick tickets there. They will wash people's clothes, sing, go to churches, go to mosques, get elected, and they'll disappear again.
Wash people's clothes. No, that's ridiculous. All right, still talking about politics. Now, there's this headline that has been very interesting. It seems Atiku is running yet again.
I can bet on it.
You know, the headline here says 2027, Atiku fights back, says, I'm not stepping down. SDP Blast report says interview twisted. You know, he had an interview with BBC Hausa, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's twisted, because sometimes you don't translate words verbatim, especially when you're trying to translate from one language into another. So there's a conversation of he's going to be supporting the why are you looking at me? So there's a conversation of he's going to be supporting a younger candidate if there's one, and there's a conversation of if he's going to be supporting a younger candidate if there's one, does it mean he's going to eventually step down for that younger candidate if one emerges? But now he's saying that interview was twisted. That's not what he meant. He's going to run again come 2027. What do you make of that?
See, we know these people like the back of our hands. That's why I said it's all leg over. It's all a scheme to even when he said that on radio was to draw a certain youth vote, to show that youth, I'm not against you, we are with you. Then some other people will go and meet
we all can dip our hands in the same pot.
Is that what you said? No. If you the other time you said, okay, I can support another candidate, a southern candidate. The next week, no, that's not what I said though. So this is, and especially when they go to Hausa radio, they know they are speaking to a particular group of people that their votes are easily batched in a direction.
Yeah.
Right? By the nature of the northerner, the Connaught, they love to work together as a team and head in one direction. They can listen to one man can get 20,000 people to follow him by just one instruction overnight. So when you have that kind of, I'll call it political advantage, you want to play to it. So we saw El Rufai do it in Kaduna, pick a Muslim ticket, tried it out. It was able to, it got him very little votes in the southern Christian areas, but was able to aggregate his votes in the northern Muslim areas and pick victory. He did it again for Ubasani. He worked again. So these are just, Atiku is a perennial contestant. He's a good man. Let me come, so I don't live here up with a defamation lawsuit. Atiku is a good man. He's a nationalist. He's one of the most nationally accepted people. But his only his two political crimes was that when he was lifted up to become deputy president, vice president, in a few months he started scheming to remove his boss. Those are things that people can hardly forgive about it. He would have become president since 2007 if he had softened for his presidential candidate. It would have been a very smooth victory. Now he has had to contest every 4 years on every single platform. He went to APC, didn't get the ticket. He has been with Tinubu before. He went on his party ticket. He didn't get it. 2019, he left PDP. He came back, entered PDP. They zoned to the north. He was the candidate. He didn't still get it. The next time they wanted to zone to the south, people blocked it again. They opened it, he got the ticket. Is this ability, is this, will I call it desperation, that made him deny the political swings that is coming back to hit him? Atiku can be, in my opinion, Atiku can be president 2031 if God gives him health. But it'll be very hard to be president in 2027. The swing of politics in Nigeria is getting stronger than any candidate.
You know, it's just very. But you know, we really cannot predict that, right? Because you said he cannot make it in 2027, but 2031 he's likely to make it. Because if
now, they say he cannot. He
may not.
He may not. He most likely won't get it.
Because we've seen other leaders that never got it at a first trial. Tinubu could have gotten it at a first trial because he probably planned, it was like a lifelong ambition. But the likes of Buhari never got it at the first trial.
Okay.
So 30 years gone. He might have a better strategy now.
Yeah, you see, people don't understand Tinubu, and let me just use 2 minutes of my good time to say why Tinubu is Nigeria's or Africa's finest politician. I'm not saying best developer. Please listen.
I get
politician.
it. Finest politician.
Yes. 1992, he was senator. He pushed for democracy. Democracy was pushed out. He worked with Nadeko. He had to run out of this country with all of them. They ran. He came back in 1999. He pushed for governor. He got governor 1999 to 2007. He now pulled out of active politics and stayed at the backstage. The power went to the north. After 2 years, Yaradua died. Goodluck did 6 years. Goodluck wanted to do more, and power was pushing to swing to the north. And Buhari failed to pull it to the north. So Tinubu gathered his southwestern votes, joined with the northern swing. Remember I said this, power wanted to swing to the north. Mm-hmm. He joined to help power swing to the north. And when power swung to the north, that's when he now said, Emilokon. Means, I've waited for this time. When power was to go to the north and it was in the south, I joined you to swing power to the north. Now that power has finished 8 years in the north, it's time for power to swing here. I worked for it. I am most positioned for it. So it has now swung back to south. In my opinion, this is my opinion, it will still remain in the south till 2031. And whoever supports the south now is who will benefit in 2031. Watch my words in 4 years, in 5 years' time. Whoever supports power to remain in the south for now will benefit when power comes to the north 2031. Politics is very easy to read.
You know, whilst we say politics is very easy to read, we also know that every single minute matters in politics. You know, because I'm beginning to think, on what platform do you think the former vice president is likely to run? And there are conversations where I saw this headline, I've been looking for it, but I actually cannot find it anymore, where they said Obi is not going to run a dollarized political
party. I saw it on the headline.
Yes, I can't remember which of the papers, but I wanted to be as specific as possible. That Obi was not going to join the dollarized political drama. So I'm wondering, on what platform do you think an Atiku would run? And do you see Obi? We've not really heard his intentions for 2027, but at least Atiku's been bold enough to say, I am going to run in 2027 and I'm not stepping down for anybody. But if Atiku is going to run, on what platform do you think he's going to run? The ADC or the PDP that he's been lamenting their different drama? Yeah,
so, this is my opinion, right?
Okay, yeah.
I think Wike is put in PDP just to deny Atiku ticket. This is my opinion.
Okay.
So,
Wike, do you think, wait, you said Wike puts in PDP or Wike is staying in PDP? Because I don't think anybody will put
he's
Wike somewhere.
He's staying. And he's largely having his way. So much that Atiku has decamped to ADC and has not said a word about it. We didn't see an interview where he's defecting. He's not ADC. We've not, no drama. He's still, am I sure you should leave this PDP for this guy? Right? Mm-hmm. So that drama is there. Obi also surely wants to contest, but you see, you have to wait. Goodluck also wants to contest.
Are you still bringing Goodluck into the equation?
Goodluck is in the equation. Goodluck met with David Mark last week.
Do you think Goodluck will really want to run? Okay, I'll let you finish up with Atiku before we talk about Goodluck.
So Atiku most likely would want ADC ticket. Obi knows that nobody can beat Atiku in a free and fair primaries. Let me say it again. In this country, you cannot run a free and fair primaries and beat Atiku. Why? Because
across all parties, within their party,
within
right?
his party, he won't go to APC.
Of course.
And contest against a sitting president. Of course, you're wasting your time. But in a free and fair primaries, because he's able to galvanize the northern votes, and he is also accepted in the south among southern politicians. And primaries is a game of delegates. Delegates are core politicians. So if Obi stays in ADC and contests against Atiku, he won't get 25% vote. I'm 100% sure about it. So the obedience that we saw on paper are now shouting that they won't join a dollarized primaries with Atiku.
Of course.
There's no way to dollarize a primaries of that scale in Nigeria. So they know that without a clear agreement to give Obi cannot beat Atiku in ADC. Cannot. So, Obi, would you want to be VP to Atiku again? If you guys win, you are VP, you have a chance. But if you guys lose, two of you are doomed in politics. All the support and clout you had in the last election will be gone and gone for good. So, should you just stay on your own? Now he's been invited to events globally. Should you become the new Goodluck? Why Goodluck becomes the new Obi? And you put swap positions. You keep attending global events. You are the good boy of Nigeria. People invite you all around, give you. He has gotten an honorary citizenship in USA. People be inviting you. You'll be loved till you die. Or should you put your hands back into this game, fight, be VP and lose, or be presidential candidate and worse, still lose? And on what terms will you lose? You call these people criminals. Now you want to join them. There's a lot at stake here for all of them. And Tinubu is just somewhere laughing and smiling.
So what about Goodluck?
Goodluck has a chance because I said the Southerners still have one term. The only person who is constitutionally bound
for that one term,
is Goodluck and Tinubu. So these are the only two people in Nigeria that can only do one term. Now that both of them have that, some people do not see Goodluck as softer, as more people friendly in policies. Some people see him as more naive, easily controlled, because Goodluck's men completely betrayed him and he didn't see it coming. So there are sets of people who believe, okay, and there are those who believe we brought Tinubu, so we will remove him. Even if we cannot bring it to our brother, let us show him that we brought you, we can remove you. So that's also a team. So that also plays in for Goodluck. Goodluck is truly loved in the North. Tinubu is also accepted. I won't say loved. Tinubu is also accepted in the North. But he's president and he's playing his politics very well with politicians. He's not going to come for the masses now. He'll come for the masses, I can predict this, by March next year. The masses will love him.
You know, I used to think that it was way too early for this political drama, but I realized that sometimes you have to have it coming from a very, very long time. Now let's move away from this just a bit and talk about other issues. I see this headline that says U.S. senators push to release Nigeria as religious freedom violator. Release Nigeria as religious freedom violator, which means that we do not have freedom of religion in Nigeria.
Wow. So let me try to backtrack to what led to that. A man called Bill Maher was trying to speak against the protests against Israel for Palestine, talking about the number of deaths that have happened in Palestine. They have said about 40,000 casualties in Gaza that has 2 million people. So they're trying to put a perspective. He was trying to put a perspective to that number, that you are saying Gaza is destroyed when there are restaurants, big restaurants still functioning in Gaza as at today. Big restaurants functioning. It's not completely a war zone. There's also propaganda going on there, right? So he's trying to say, you are talking about Gaza that 40,000 plus people have died. What about Nigeria that 100,000 Christians have died since, people throw away this word, since 2009. That is what he said. He said since 2009, about 100,000 Nigerians, Christians have lost their life. Now let me as a Christian put that in perspective. I agree that can be true, but I need to add that more Muslims have died also than 100,000 Christians since 2009. So I'm putting it in perspective. But that statement of his has now brought the religious angle into the matter. And USA is like, okay, hold on. 100, and you see here we don't value, I'm sorry to say, we don't value lives.
You're not, that's not a joke.
So 100,000 people towards, how many people then born? Right? But there, 3 people died, they are bothered. So
of course,
when you're talking of 100 and the stats are lined up, they calculate it from statistics and it's up to that. So they're like, are you sure we should not list this country back on a place where there's no freedom of religion? But that doesn't mean that Christians cannot go to church on Sunday. This is not what we're saying. I think they should put it on a watch list, but not on a list that there's no freedom of religion. We should be on a watch list. I agree that we should be on a watch list, but not that I want to go to church on Sunday, I can't go. But there are places in which it is almost impossible. And also I've said Muslims too are also at risks here. So this is not completely a religious matter.
You know, it's just, it's heartbreaking to know that we call Nigeria the giant of Africa, the most populous black nation. And most of the time, the kind of records that the world has of us are images that are tainting, not the kind of good ones that we should be known for. Exactly looking at this, talking about releasing us as religious freedom violators, the first thing that comes to someone's mind when they talk about Nigeria is the fact that, oh, if you go to that country, you probably don't have your freedom of religion anymore. You know, sometimes you could just randomly ask people outside the country, I don't mean Nigerians, non-Nigerians, you want to ask them about Nigeria, and the first thing that comes to their mind is, oh, if you go to that country, you could be kidnapped, you could be this, you could be that. When we have lots of beautiful things in our country, we have lots of beautiful things to export. Look at our talents. Most of the doctors out there, nurses out there, most of them are Nigerians. Musicians. In fact, by the time our musicians go out there, they sell very fast. Their tickets sell, we talk about O2 Arena literally all the time. Their tickets sell pretty fast. But we do not seem to talk about that. That's not the first image that is attached to Nigeria. Sometimes I wonder why.
Nigerians are smart people. So smart people find opportunities everywhere. And when you are smart and you don't have large morals, you just want to survive, right? Because hunger is not a good friend. Hunger is a constant friend, but not a good friend. So a Nigerian that has gone through hunger, has given up on the country, borrowed money to go abroad, now gets there. Most of them are not, and maybe they did not go with papers. He's not looking for a good job. He's just looking for anything to do to get by. He doesn't care whether there's a moral to it, whether it's a good thing, whether it's drugs. So he's just trying, in his own opinion, he's just trying to survive. But that gives us a bad impression. I have a friend who was deported from Dubai. She said the cell, they could even do you Botox. You could do dentists. Very expensive. They'll do it for you. Anything you want. Food, anything you want in the cell. That while she was there, a Nigerian, saw a Nigerian cut off a woman's hand to steal her Birkin's bag. not slap her, not kick her, not razzle her, cut off a hand to steal a Birkin's bag. Now, if that, of course, that woman is not a poor woman to have that kind of bag. If her family or husband are in a position of government, they won't want to find one Nigerian that is responsible or two Nigerians. If they have a choice, they'll ban us all outrightly. These are the parts of Nigeria's image we need to fix. But we can't fix it if our country is this hungry, because the most desperate people will find their way out and look for any means to survive. We need to fix insecurity in Nigeria. We need to fix our political class. The political class is killing us.
You know, the Chief of Defense Staff made a statement because you said we need to fix insecurity in Nigeria. Away from political class, the Chief of Defense Staff made a very salient point. He said that insecurity is being fueled because of bad morals from homes. How parents raise their children. Because, for example, the person who cut off somebody's hands to get Birkin's bag probably does not understand the value of the morals you talked about. But children, if they are rightly raised, do you think it could be somewhat a way to stem all of this? Or you think that at the end of the day, because I feel like if you raise your kids well, by the time they get into the larger society, they get to meet other children that have been well raised. But in a situation where you raise yours well and the other person doesn't raise theirs well, influences begin to set in.
Yes, I agree with you, but on a larger scale, I would love to give an illustration. I say, which they suck person blood, you they offer another type of blood tonic. Our issues are deep and systemic that changing our blood tonic will not solve the problem.
So you think those family units does not?
No, it plays. It helps us in a large way. Our problems are largely ethnic and religious. And we are not going to change our religions. And we're not going to change our tribes. Go on Twitter now, and I'm a Yoruba man, and say a Yoruba man did something bad. Yoruba boys will back it. I'm sorry to say, another tribe will denigrate it. Before evening, you have a complete tribal war. We just said one person did wrong. We have not taken doing wrong to become tribal matters. We are too easily divided as a people, which is why we are where we are. That is why when they are killing people in the north because of mining, I mean just ordinary illegal mining, people will use banditry to clear a complete village up the map of their own brothers. So what morals could you have taught that person? Now, just what moral lesson did that person lack? These leaders were raised on a country where they got free education. They didn't suffer. And their grandchildren, if they die now, cannot even suffer. So what are you clearing people's villages for? For what? For more money? To do what?
It's just heartbreaking.
It's heartbreaking.
Nigeria 65. Your final words to the viewers.
Let's believe in Nigeria. Let's work for Nigeria. Let's be good people. Like you said, let's be good people. Let's help people. Nigerians are one of the most loved people in the world. Go to internet, you see people celebrating jollof rice.
I'll take this lucky caller before we head out. Good morning, Akim from Lagos. You're welcome to the press. Good morning. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. And how is your analyst doing?
Thank you, my brother. How are you doing, sir?
Thank you so much. I just want to make some comments. Though it's quite long now I've made call here.
Yeah.
You see, when it comes to issue of religion, it's a very complicated issue.
Absolutely.
Exactly. And in making reference to, first, I want to agree. It is true. In Nigeria, we have religion issue. We cannot shy away from that. And you see, especially in the northern part of the country, I urge the leaders over there, they need to do a lot of things, you understand, between Muslims and Christians of a thing. But the fact is that we can't hide it. Christians suffer a lot over there in the north. Right. Likewise, the Muslims. But if you want to compare that, I'm more, something of the Christians over there. We can't shy away from that. It might not be religious directly.
Of course.
Mainly, it could be ethnic and politics.
Of course.
You understand? So the religion is just a kind of weapon that is being used. And that is not to say you don't have it in other parts of the country in Nigeria. But again, I always say it here because I said America, United States of America can never come and show any example to anybody in the world anymore. There is nothing they can't even display that they are democratic, democratic country. That is the fact. That person from the U.S. saying that trying to display Nigeria that maybe Nigeria should be placed as a country that whatever religious freedom is not. In America, there's no religious freedom itself. If you check internet today, even from the comment of the president, you find out that I don't want to mention a particular religion. You know there is that kind of hatred, clearly hatred about Muslims. That's just the fact.
All right.
You understand? So they should not. United States of America cannot teach us anything about moral.
Right.
That is just the fact there. Then lastly,
quickly, just a few seconds more.
Okay. In a few seconds, may God bring peace to Gaza. But like your analyst said, it might not be completely everywhere in the Gaza or whatever, but the fact is that genocide is happening in Gaza. We see it with our eyes.
All right.
So God bless the whole world.
God bless you too. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Engineer Toba, just in 2 seconds to
God bless Nigeria. God bless Nigerians. Have a great day.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Engineer Toba. We really appreciate it. It's always a pleasure to have you in the studio.
Thank you very much.
All right, viewers, thank God it's Friday. I hope you enjoy your weekend. I am Olamide Alasan, and I'll see you again on Monday. Bye for now.